Hi everyone, welcome back. It is the 19th of February. It's a Sunday night and I am here. Oh, it's only 9:30, so that's not too terribly bad. I'm pretty proud of that. It's been a busy day, very busy day today. So today I have stitched and I really am tickled that I picked what I did because it worked out perfectly. My final whip go pull for February was to stitch one section of a new project called Casting a Spell. It's a Blackbird design. And I had said originally I'll do one of these little ones in the middle just to get it started. So when I pulled this tonight, I pulled out my project bag that I had put this in when I kitted up all my Whip Go and pulled all my Whip Go stuff together, and I have it in a box over there, a big basket. I knew it was only 4 colors of DMC on a neutral fabric, so I didn't bother to go pull fabric or floss or anything when I put this in my bag. So today I had to stop this afternoon, and after lunch I went and I started looking for fabrics. And I have a stack of a few things over on my finishing table that I'm trying to decide, am I going to make pillows? Am I going to make flat folds? What am I going to do with them? So I have them out there kind of so I can see them and be inspired. And one of the finishes over there is the Early Christmas Morning by Blackbird Designs. And the fabric that I had stitched it on was called Peanut by Be Stitch Me. And I thought, won't that be a perfect color for that? It's oranger than what they show. But you know what? It's Halloween. And it's just slightly got an orange tint to it. So I checked it out and I have plenty of this fabric to do this piece on. In fact, I cut a remnant after I cut out the piece I stitched. I had this little piece hanging off over here and I just cut it all the way down. So I have a square left that's a decent piece for a project, right? And then I have this long piece that looks like a little banner because I have all of these little pieces to stitch. And I can fit every one of them on this fabric, even if I have to turn it this way to stitch it, you know, it'll work. So I put it on one of my scroll rods and I started it this afternoon, I guess around 2:30ish. And I stitched on it for a couple of hours till we had to go to our deacon's meeting. And when I got home this evening, I finished it. It's a total of 288 stitches in the whole thing, but it's the section called Stars A. So it's one of these little ones in the middle. And I learned by looking at it tonight that these are identical. They're just facing the opposite direction. So one of them, the stars are on this side of the big one, and on the other one, they're on that side of the big one. Just as you can see, they're mirror images of each other. Even the little stars next to them are the same. They're just in a different order. It really looks like both were stitched and then one of them was just flipped upside down. That's what it looks like they did. They look like they were stitched identically and one was just flipped upside down. So, isn't that cute? But guess what? That met my Whip Go goal because I stitched a whole section of it. I'm so happy. I needed that this month. I've been doing a lot of crazy goals this month. All the acrostics, all but one were really long, and then, you know, been trying to keep up with some of my daily 30 weekly challenges as well, and then to have 2 Whip Go boards, it was a bit much. And so when I did that one today, I waited until I had a finish before I even did it. But I'm so delighted that it worked out today because it fit perfectly in the time that I had, and I could actually complete that Whip Go goal today, which was fabulous. Loved it. So happy about that. So where do we go from here? What do I have left to do? Right now, I have a daily 30 challenge, and I've already met 3 of those prompts from Friday. This is just Sunday, but I've met one. I've stitched 2, and I had a pass for 1. I did so much stitching last month. If you stitch so much, if you participate in enough events and you do enough stitches, you earn passes that help you the next month. And so the pass that I was able to use was, you can use it on your weekly, your bi-weekly challenges. And for whatever question or challenge prompt that you want, you put a copy of the pass, little picture of it, in there, and you get to count your largest number of stitches as if you have completed the largest number of stitches. So I did that for 1, and then I stitched the other 2. So that means I have 2 left to do. So here's what I've got going. I have to stitch on something that ties, my whip ties to either the earth, fire, water, or air. Well, you know I'm doing 2 by the bag pieces right now that have water in them. And Hawk Run Hollow has water. It has lakes and things like that. So I'm probably going to pull out one of my maybe 13th colony, because I haven't stitched on it in just a few days. I might pull that one. And then the last prompt I have to meet is to stitch on a whip that requires my focus. So there are several factors that I could use that for. But I think what I'm going to use it for is the one that's going to be my weekly goal for my finish at February. I have 1 left, and that is to do that, the face and head of my Queen of Hearts. And you know, the last time you saw it, I had her neck. You know, I had her chest part of her neck done, but I need to keep going. And so I think I'm going to use the first 300 stitches on that piece to meet that goal of requiring my focus. So next week, I will try to get those 2 prompts done, and I will try to finish at February, my 4th goal, because I have certainly completed the first 3. That was wonderful. And then we'll go from there, and I'll see what when I finish it, if I have any days left in the month, and I'll determine what I want to work on. I don't know exactly what I may pull. Part of me wants to pull Kringles back out and try to get that portion done underneath the room, because I had mentioned I was going to try to get that ready to take for my stitching meetup, but I changed my mind. It's so big and it's hard to move around. And I knew I was close enough to a finish for Unto Us. So instead, I prepped it. I outlined the bird, and I outlined all the grass, and I outlined everything I could so that I just had fill-in stitching to do, and that worked out beautifully. And I think that probably helped me get my finish yesterday on that very piece. So that worked out very well. So we'll see. We'll see. But I am about ready to start my planning for our trip with Coco to the beach. We will be in a car, so I get to take a lot more stitching with me when we're in a car. I can take my floor stand if I want to. I can take a number of, items. I don't know what the Whip Go calls will be, but I will know before I leave, of course. So that's always an option to take those with me. So when I make those plans, probably that first week of March, I'll share that with you as well. Anyway, I'm going to let you, I do want to tell you something. I have a lovely story to share with you. In the Daily 30 group, we earn our tokens, which is why the group is probably a closed group, because you can only have so many people shopping with these virtual tokens and manage it. But with our tokens, we get to purchase things that have been donated, things that have been given to them to put in an album. And with our tokens, it's like virtual money. You know, we go in and there'll be an album that says for 200 tokens you get any one of these, or for 300 tokens you get these. And at the end of the year, you have to spend all your tokens or they disappear. You don't carry them over from calendar year to calendar year. So I saw in December or January, whenever we had that last sale, that you could use those tokens. I saw this pattern and I thought, that is adorable. And online, when I looked at it, I thought the pattern was for this and this. And I thought, oh, absolutely, I'm getting that. And so I spent my tokens on this. Thrilled to death when I got it. And then I opened it up, and I can't share it with you, but I'll look at it and see what it is, and then I'll show it to you. Okay, so it is this third here on the end. It is part 3 of a 3-part series. So anyway, this was a 2016 sale. It was a mystery sale, and you got it in 3 parts. This was part 3. So I had 1/3 of this pattern. I have this on the back, but I only had 1/3 of the pattern. So I went shopping. I went looking. And fortunately, I found the first third of the pattern. It also has a round topper as well. So then what I figured out is inside is the front third. This is the pattern by itself on the back. Inside here is the final third, and this is a pattern on the back. So I've got both of those round top patterns. But I have the front and the end of this pattern. So I called my friend Julie McConnell because I know that she, may have had some patterns left. When she moved her shop, she sold a lot of her older patterns. She put some stuff on her website, and I bought some things from her. And I was hoping she might have this set, or at least one of these, hanging around so that I could have part 2 out of it. She did not. But she happens to know Beth Seal very well. And she offered to email her and ask if she had any more available. And Beth Seal answered her right away and said she did. And she is bringing part 2 to Julie at Nashville. And Julie's going to pick it up for me there and send it to me. Now, isn't that a beautiful piece right there? That's the whole piece. I think it's lovely. I think it's really cute. And the saying says, the wind blows where it wishes. So it's got little windmills on it, and a house, and summer flowers. You know, it was precious. And then these wheels, these toppers here, to me, look very patriotic. I could use them in my patriotic displays, but I just thought, what a neat package. I had never seen this before because, it was older and I hadn't seen it. I missed it back then. So I'm excited. It's coming. And I will tell you, it is so awesome to have these folks that are willing to look for you and make phone calls for you and help you hunt down something that you're looking for. So, Julie, thank you. Thank you for doing that. I just wanted to say that. And, if you can't find something locally, check around with the people that own shops and give them the business. I think that'll be great. So, all right, just wanted to share that with you. Thrilled at how my stitching is going and how I've been meeting my goals this month. I feel that I'm going to be heading into March doing well. I just don't know how much I'll be able to stitch because of the surgery. That's a big question mark for me. So I don't want to do a whole lot. I'm not going to do a March Madness of any kind. You know, nothing that I have to really keep up to a deadline for. Um, because I'm hearing from people who've had the surgery, thank you all for sharing your stories with me. I'm hearing that for a couple of days there'll be no stitching. I won't be able to see, and then well enough to stitch, and I'm supposed to rest my eyes and that sort of thing. But then after about a couple of days, I should be okay, and that means I'll only be out about 4 to 5 days for the month that I wouldn't be able to stitch. But that's 4 to 5 days. I like to stitch every day, but we'll see. I think I can stand that, especially, to get a big improvement in my eyesight. That'll be awesome. I'll tell you something. I wore my contacts today because I have to be without them for 2 weeks prior to surgery, and I've got a little window here, and I wore them today I thought so I could see the music at church and see and read, and I stood up there to sing, and I couldn't hardly see the music. Could not. I could barely read it. It was, I had to really strain. It would blur and then come into focus, and it was a little bit scary because we were a smaller group, and I was one of, I think, about 2 altos. So, when there's only 2 of you singing a voice part, you definitely don't want to just drop out because you can't read the music, and leave your person next to you singing a solo. That's kind of rough. So I didn't have any readers in my purse. I'll correct that. I'll make sure I always have some there. But anyway, that was a rude awakening because just even 3 weeks ago, I could see the music without any trouble with my contacts in. And now I can't. So it's definitely time. If I had any doubts at all, that kind of cured that. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. And I hope you've had a great weekend. I've certainly shared a lot of mine with you. I've been very chatty this weekend because I've been so excited about everything. And I hope you'll have a good week going forward. And I'll try to take you with me on my journey next week. Looks like Monday, tomorrow, we're supposed to drop my husband's truck off for maintenance. So we'll be a 1-car family for a little while. And my son is supposed to stop by. There's some mail here for him, and he said he might try to stop by and pick it up and join us for lunch and just, visit us for a little bit. And I'm looking forward to that. I hope he does. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow maybe, or later in the week, and show you what I've been stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Wednesday. It is February the 22nd, and I'm here to give you an update on what I've been stitching the last 3 days. It's unusual for me to take 3 days before I come back and talk to you, but I have been working on this project for 3 days. This is Royal Games 1. And if you have been watching me previously, you'll know that one of my Finish It February goals was to finish the Queen of Hearts, the lady herself. I wanted to be sure I finished all of her body, her head, her face, her hair, everything. I had hoped to get that little heart next to her done as well, but that's going to be easy enough stitching to talk to people when I Zoom and things like that. So I'm going to save it for that. And I'm ready to do something different. I have a prompt that I need to stitch, my last prompt that I need to stitch for one of my challenges in the Daily 30 group. And I only have till the end of the month to get it done. So I want to work on that tomorrow. But I want to show you what I got done. Isn't she beautiful? I had to scroll her up because her crown goes all the way up to here. There are two little neck stitches up there. All of these holes in here, all this empty space here, all these holes in these flowers, all the holes right here in her jewelry, all of that, all the holes in her necklace, and all this is neck. You can't see it sparkle at all, but let me tell you, to the naked eye, it is gorgeous. Anyway, all of this in here, beads. There are beads all around this collar sitting out here, and all of this is beaded, and all of these holes in here are beaded. Her bracelets are beaded. I'm going to have a lot of beading to do at the end, but it's going to be so pretty. It's going to be so pretty. Anyway, I think she looks properly snooty, don't you? I didn't realize that before, but she does have her nose turned up, and it's kind of a big nose, I noticed as well. But that's okay. She's aristocratic. I think she's a beautiful lady, and I just adore her jewelry. I wish you could see it sparkle. It's very delicate, very pretty. Anyway, she is complete as far as the stitching and back stitching. The only thing left to do now are beads. So I do her heart over here, and then I go and roll her all up, and I do the other queen, Queen of Spade, on the other end here, upside down. She'll be facing that direction. I'm going to have these, I'm going to do all four. There's two on each one. I'm going to do Royal Games 2 as well eventually. I'm going to have these four done for when we play cards, because we have game nights quite often, and I'd like to have these where I could set them up in the room, you know, when we're playing cards, because I think they would make, or put them on the wall or something. I think they would make great additions. But I just want to let you know, I stitched in the last 3 days, I've stitched a ton. I have not added it up. Let me do that real quick. In the last 3 days, I've stitched 1,469 stitches in this piece. Because of my schedule, I only got in 360 days, 66 I think it is, on stitches on Monday. I got in 440 yesterday, 669 today. Each day I got a little bit more done. But as you can tell from all the color changes, confetti started right here and never stopped. This is confetti heavy, all of that. A ton of colors in her skin, a ton of colors in her hair, a ton of colors in the flowers, even 3 or 4 colors in her collar. Just a lot of color changes. And you know, where I was so excited because this was going pretty quick, because I said I had small blocks of color. Well, you do right here. And then when you get up here, you get the confetti part. So the kind of nice thing about it is you don't have confetti the whole time. You get a challenge of having it some of the time. And so I really have enjoyed it. I think she's quite pretty. And I think she's beautiful on this fabric. This is Pixie Dust by Silk Weaver. And I think it's going to be perfect for these cards. And the other side of this person, the other queen, is all in purples and teals. It's going to look great. Anyway, thanks for letting me share that with you. So what does that mean? That means that my final Finish It February is done. I got all 4 of them done. I'm very excited. So I made great progress in the month of February, and it's a good thing I did since I don't know what's coming. But I do, again, want to thank all of you for the comments, sharing your experiences with your surgeries for cataract removal, because I'm highly encouraged that it might not be as much downtime as I'm anticipating, which will be great. I had my annual physical this week, and when I went in and I met with the doctor's PA. I always do usually. So it was funny because we looked at each other kind of funny and said, "Where have I seen you lately?" And it turns out he was at the eye doctor, the surgeon's office, the same day I was. He had his mother there helping her get through a cataract surgery consulting visit. And funny enough, they were in the lobby and then they were told to go wait in the waiting room, and she was looking around for a restroom. And I asked her, I stopped and said, "Are you looking for a ladies' room?" And she said, "Yes." And I took her to the ladies' room. I didn't even know that was my PA's mom or that it was him. He was out of uniform. I didn't recognize him. It was funny when we realized we had been there at the exact same time. In fact, he said, "You're the nice lady that took my mom to the restroom." Yeah, that was me. Anyway, it's a small world, y'all. Be nice. Oh, well, here's the good news. My PA says that he's had over 50 of his patients that have had cataract removals by that same surgeon that I'm going to. And they have all had fabulous outcomes and love her. So that was really encouraging to me. So wanted to share that with you. Okay, it's a little bit after 10, maybe around 10:30. I'm going to call it a night early tonight because I can. I've hit my goal and I don't want to start something else this late at night. So I'm going to celebrate by going to bed early. Coco will be so happy. Tomorrow is a red letter day for me. I get to stitch with two friends virtually. One lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Her name is Mary. And one lives in Canada. Her name is Joanne. And we stitch together about once a month. We try to stitch together every month. And we catch up with each other and just stitch while we talk. It's like we're at a retreat together. It's wonderful. And so that's tomorrow morning, and I am so excited that I'll be able to share with them my Queen Hearts and see what all they've been doing. And then tomorrow afternoon, I get to stitch with another friend from Canada that I have not talked to in over a month. She's been working. She's been so busy, and we have not had a chance to talk. But we've got to talk because we're going to be meeting up at a retreat, the same retreat that my friend from England's coming over to go to, my friend Glow. And so Marissa is coming as well, and I can't wait for them all to meet each other. All my friends are going to be in one spot. It'll be great. Well, not all of them, but some of them, will be, and that'll be fun. I also want to thank you guys from Northern Alabama Stitchers group that have welcomed me so. I've gotten a couple of comments letting me know you're going to be at the retreat in July that I'm going to in Alabama, and that you're looking forward to meeting up, and I am thrilled. I can't wait to meet you all, and I look forward to it so very much. So that'll be fun. It is a year of retreats for me. I'm just tickled to death. My husband's going on long hikes, and as a gift to me, he's very much in support and agreement that I get to go to my retreats that I would like to go to that I can get in. So this year will be my most traveled year ever, and I'm so happy about it. I'm so excited. Okay, that's all from now. I will bid you adieu, and I'll give you an update again as soon as I have something to share with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, February 23rd, and I'm here to give you an update. Yep, in the very next day. So I didn't work for 3 days straight before I came back this time. I just worked one. But I pulled out my By the Bay, my 13th Colony is the name of the pattern. And I have shared with you that this is a 3-pattern series, and I'm going to stitch mine all as one long piece for my living room downstairs. And today I put in 823 stitches. Had to look. And I'll show you what that means for me here. Here's how it's looking. And yes, it's full coverage from the heels all the way down to the bottom. There's not a bit of it that's not stitched once you get to the heel on the way down. However, today I started, get that where I can handle it. I started right here at the bottom. I had a little bit of that going on. And so I went ahead and filled it all the way out to that last bush. I was working just out to about right here, and I stopped right there. You can see here I've got one of the sails on the boat that I was able to count off of here to get started. So the next time I work on it, when I move it in my Q-snap to where it's open all the way over, then I can work on that sailboat. So today I did all of that ground around those the bottom there on this side of the tree. Just about, I had a little tiny bit in here because of the page break. I had finished it all the way to the page break. So then I picked it up and I stitched all of this today. I did the 3 little sheep. I have not added their legs yet, but there are 3 there. 1, 2, and this is the 3rd one right over here. You can't see it very well, but I do have the ground underneath it. And then I came back up here and I started in the water, and I did the white caps. I did the white caps all the way over here, and then that's why I went ahead and did the sail just to work that ecru off my needle. And then I came back and I filled in an entire section of the water all the way to these white caps, made a natural break there. And so I've done a good little portion of it today. I'm really, really pleased. So looking at where it is and looking at where I have to go, you see what I have left. The first sail is started right there on the end, and so that's what I have left to do. Probably just that little portion where the sheep are out to the end, which is right past that boat. So not too terribly bad. Really tickled. So I am thinking that I'm going to take this with me on my trip to the beach in March. We're going for a week, and I think I might, if I spend a couple of days, maybe 3 on this, I could finish this, and that would be, I am going to count this a finish because they're separate patterns. So for my stitch from stash, I'll count this as a finish. You know, 13th Colony Part 1, and I'll put that into my stitch from stash. But I'm thinking that I could get that little bit done in the week that I'm at the beach. I would like to anyway. So that's going to be what my goal might be when I take it down there with me. Wouldn't that be fun? And then when I come back, I could start, when it's called on Whip Go, I could actually start on the second part. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that would be excellent. Well, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great stitching day. And I'll talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dina. It is the 24th of February, Friday, and I'm here to give you a stitching update. I was able to stitch with my friend Glow today, and what we decided to do is stitch on Miss Christmas Eve together. She started her this year as well, And since we're both working on her, we decided to do it together. So we both had it ready to go this morning, and we stitched while we talked. I continued stitching after we talked for a little bit, and Glow has already completed her whole day just about by the time we get on the phone, since she's in England. But she went to feed her precious Frankie. He's a sweetheart. And I decided I would keep stitching. So I stitched for a prompt till I got enough stitches for a prompt. I did the minimum number this time, but that's okay. I have some other things I need to get ready to take on our trip. So today, Miss Christmas Eve, I'll remind you what she looks like. Here she is. Worked on her. I worked on her hands and arms today, because I had just done the darker color under her arms the last time I worked on her. So today I did her gloves, and I came over here on this arm and I got the lighter color all the way up to where it joins there with her shoulder. And I did 312 stitches today on Miss Christmas Eve. Isn't that pretty? She's holding that skirt out there. Can't wait to show that, see how that turns out. Anyway, lovely, lovely piece. I'm real excited about it. So, I'll put her up now till the next time Glow and I talk. And then we'll work on her again. I think that's what we're going to do, is work on her every time we talk. I think that'll be awesome. Well, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I'm going to go make my husband and I a couple of sandwiches for lunch. We're going to have a light lunch here at the house today, and he's out walking Coco. So now's a good time to get that done. And if I get any other stitching done today, I'll be sure to come back and share it with you. I hope you're having a great Friday. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Saturday, February the 25th, and I have so much wonderful news to share with you today. Let's just jump right to the most fun of all. That is the little shop that we went to today. It's called the Tudor Rose, and it actually has a little Tudor Rose on the bag. This is my haul. She had fabric. This is a 32 count gray check Lugana I got, that I plan on putting possibly Easter smalls on. That to me just looked like, what a cute basket weave, and it just screamed Easter to me. Anyway, pretty excited about it. Then she had a wool felt combination fabric here, a bundle. Now, look at these bundles. The reason I got these is that I have plans to do the 12 Days of Christmas Erica Michaels berries. And these are going to be for my toppers. These will probably be enough for my toppers for the rest of my life. But they were a great price, and they were beautiful colors. So I got those. I had gone through my Whip Go basket for all my new starts for the rest of the year, and I looked up any fancy floss I needed, and I got all the Weeks Dye Works that she had that I needed on my list. I think she had all of those that I needed, and I think that's it. So she put pretty little tissue paper in the bag when she rang us up. So cute. Great little shop. I know now why I never went in there before. It was a gift shop, and it was primarily little gift items, or it had quilting fabric, and it had, she had yarn. So they weren't my crafts. And she has expanded, and now she is putting out cross-stitch items as well. And she is a stitcher, and she started selling the cross-stitch items, and we started coming shopping. It was great fun. It wasn't that far from my house. It wasn't too terribly long to get there. We had 9 of us there, and I will tell you, it's a small place. We filled it up. She brought out a couple of chairs to see if we would like to have a place to sit. I don't think anybody sat. I think, if anything, we put things in the chair to look through, like a stack of something to look through. But she had lots of great patterns. She had a surprisingly good stash of fabric. I believe, if I am not mistaken, that every one of us bought fabric there today. I know all of us bought something. I don't think a single person left there that hadn't made at least a purchase of something. So that was great fun. She's a British lady. I love to hear her talk. And she is so sweet, and she has embraced our group, and she said if we want anything, all we have to do is call her, and she will ship it. And KK, one of the ladies in our stitching group, lives about 4 miles from there. And in fact, I think she was the one telling us about how she had started selling cross-stitch items. And so she actually told us that if we wanted to let KK know something that we wanted her to pick up for us, KK can run by there and get it and bring it to us at the library. And we can just call her and give her our information over the phone to let her charge it to us. So she is being extremely accommodating. I watched today, one of the ladies in our group bought a pattern and the floss to go with the pattern. They were specialty fibers, and she was afraid she would get confused as to which one was which. And this lady sat there and drew the symbols of each color of what was on that pattern on the actual card of that floss for her. That was going above and beyond, in my opinion. I just was floored. I was pleasantly surprised. Anyway, lovely, lovely shop. We'll love to go back there again. It's very tiny. She only has certain floss. She does not have Classic Color Works, and she had DMC, and she had some Weeks Dye Works. She had some Valdanis and some DMC Light Effects, but not a full set of most of those others other than DMC. Her DMC is a little more expensive than what we can get, so I would only get the DMC there if I couldn't find it where I was looking elsewhere. But we hope that she continues to stock some cross-stitch items, and she said today her husband had suggested that they rent the shop next door that's empty, and that they knock a wall out between the two so that they can expand their shop and double the size. We were encouraging her to do so, but I think she's a little worried that it might be too much for her, too much space. But I'm telling you, she's got enough stuff. If she spread it out, she could fill up that other shop. She really could. So anyway, it was a great time. Great time. Had lots of fun. So when I got back today, it's close enough. We went there, we shopped, and then we walked right down the street, half a block, to a restaurant and had lunch together. And then we all drove back home. So, back home, 2:30 in the afternoon. So I got busy stitching. Today, I wanted to stitch for a prompt in my new challenge that came out yesterday. And this challenge is about toast, the history of toast. And so one of the challenges for that event was to stitch with brown floss. And you had to do a minimum of 300, maximum for your points, 400 stitches. And so I thought, I've been wanting to do this banner across here as I go. I had said if I have time, I wanted to come down here and start this banner across here. And it is a dark, kind of a grayish black-brown. It's number 844, but it is a dark color, but it does have a brown tint in it. So I used that for my brown today, and I put in 469 stitches in that little banner under my window that I finished. That was my February goal, to finish that little window. So now guess what? I have gotten the dark brown all the way across here. I haven't stitched that little garland or whatever that is in there. It's just in relief. I've stitched all around it, and I think it actually is going to be in this little ecru color, so it's going to look just like the fabric. You're not going to be able to tell that I stitched it, but I will go back and do it. But you know, it just went so well. It's a repetitive pattern, and so once I learned that, I just went, and that was a good stitch today. It was an easy stitch, and I got the maximum number of points for that, and it helped me to further my Kringles toward my goal of getting that section done with the room, so that it helps me finish it at least in November rather than December. So isn't that exciting? So that was fun. I enjoyed that. So now, the next thing on my list of things to talk to you about is Whip Go. We had the Whip Go pools today. Jessie Marie put up a little video showing the numbers, and they were number 22 and number 2. So my number 22 on my 2 Kringles boards, one is my Christmas Village ornament. That is my full coverage ornament, which means I get to pull it out next month and put 5 more hours in it. I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that that'll help me push it even closer to a finish. I would love to finish it this year. So there you go. There's a whip I'll get to work on. Number 2 on that same Whip Go board is Kringles. I'm going to be working on Kringles anyway, and I've got to get 5 hours for my Whip Go, so you know it'll take me at least 5 hours to stitch that room and that little banner underneath it, so that is going to be easy because I would be wanting to do that anyway. So that's a good thing. On my second Whip Go board, number 22, is a new start for me, and it was a gift from my friend Glow, and she fully kitted it and gifted it to me. It's ready to go, and it's called Love Abides. So I think I'm going to take that with me to the beach. We're leaving to take Coco back to the beach for about 5 days, and I've already been planning what I want to take with me. Number 2 is also a new start, and it's called Sewing Bee, and it's a small. So I'm looking forward to getting it started. I may take it with me as well. I may knock out that whole Whip Go board while we're at the beach. Wouldn't that be nice? That would be fun. So I'm excited about my Whip Go calls. It's good because the Sewing Bee new start was one of the ones I looked for the floss for today. So that's a good thing, you know, that I got that when I did. I'm going to let you get back to your stitching. I'm going to go pull my new starts for March and get them ready to go into my suitcase for my trip. Get that ready to go. And then I think I will head to bed. Good night, everybody. Happy stitching. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is the evening of the 26th of February, Sunday night. I am here to show you what I was able to get accomplished in stitching today. It was a surprisingly good day of stitching considering everything we had going on. I have been serving on a search committee at our church to find our children's director, and today was a huge committee meeting right after church. Went to church, sang in the choir, put my robe up, and went straight to the committee meeting. My husband and I drove in separate cars because he didn't know how long I'd be, and I didn't either. But I think we've got our solution. I think we have decided what we want to recommend to the personnel committee, and that feels good, you know, to have that accomplished. But it took a while to get it all wrapped up. So I grabbed a bite to eat and headed home, played with Coco, and I didn't get to start stitching today till about 3 o'clock. But I had a prompt I wanted to work on, and it's in the Daily 30 group, and it's in a challenge about toast. And the prompt was to stitch on something that has an object in it that's flat. So I looked around and I thought, oh, here we go. This has got some flat surfaces in it. This is my May word play. And I'll tell you what flat surfaces I chose to identify. And that is the bottom of all of these pots and even the tops are flat. But the main thing is the bottom surface is a flat surface. And then even here in the grass, this grass under these flowers is a flat straight line. So I felt like that was a good enough connection to serve as something flat. And I pulled this out and started stitching on it. I had made some progress on it before, kind of on this side a little bit. And I had done this little piece of earth, green grass. And I had done the stems and leaves, but not the flowers themselves. So that's kind of where I picked up today. I started working on flowers. And I just kept going until I got 313 stitches. And you can see I finished those flowers. I did the 2 pots and their flowers. I did the bee. I even did these little pretty little flower shapes that are in almost the same color as the fabric. So it's almost like a tone-on-tone embroidery. It's so pretty. It wouldn't have been the same color as the fabric if I hadn't picked a blue. But I'm not angry about it. I like it. And then I started the word seeds right here. And when I got that last letter that you see completed, it was 313 stitches. And rather than stay up late tonight to finish the word, which I normally would do, I decided to stop there because I have an early start to my day tomorrow. So there you go. 313 stitches on May wordplay. And I am almost halfway done. If I had the wheelbarrow done up here, I'd probably say I was halfway there. But I'm thinking I may take this one with me on our vacation because it would be a good one. It's on a Q-snap and it's an easy to see stitch. I think it's on 28 count. Anyway, I'm thinking I may take it with me, so we'll see about that. Well, we're almost counting down the days to go. It's a week from today when we go on our vacation. So we haven't told Coco yet. You know, she gets real excited about that. I have some pictures of her, just snapshots of her that my husband's been taking this last week as they're out walking or playing or in the basement playing ball. One of the days it was raining. And he's gotten some really just pretty still shots of her. And I'm just going to put you a little photo album at the end so you can enjoy them too, those of you who enjoy that. So I'm going to say goodnight. I mentioned I had an early start tomorrow. My husband has to take his truck in to have his tires rotated and balanced first thing in the morning. And while he's gone, our son's coming up. It's his day off. And he and my husband are taking Coco on a brief hike together tomorrow. I'm so excited. So I will hopefully get a chance to see my son and visit with him while my husband's got his truck in the shop and getting his tires rotated. And because as soon as he gets back, they'll go. And I'm hoping they get home early enough that we can have lunch together. I just don't know how much time my son has available because he does his laundry and he does his errands and things, you know, on his day off too. So I can't take his whole day off. But I'm privileged. I think both my husband and I feel that way, that he's going to come up and spend a little time with us. He tries to do that. He's really good about it. He tries to do that at least every couple of weeks. Sometimes it's 3. This week it's going to be 1. So I'm really tickled about that. But I want to get up, you know, in the morning when my husband gets up, and I want to get dressed and ready so that I can enjoy talking with my son when he gets here. And then I'll stitch while they're gone. So I'm hoping to work out something to meet my final prompt on that challenge that was posted on Friday. And the final prompt is to stitch on something that you can relate to the United Kingdom. And I'm not sure, But I'm thinking it might have to be pandemic. I'll have to do a little research, and if I can tie that to the UK, I'll use it for that. And if I can't, I'll have to stitch penalty stitches. I'll just have to add 100 stitches to what I'm stitching on, and I'll just decide which one I want to do that on. So I'm going to let you go, but good night, everybody, and happy stitching.